Welcome to Let's Talk Games, episode 30. My name is Dan. With me is Uncle Chunt. How are you, sir?
Oh, look, I'm good as one can be today. 3-day weekend. Let's do it.
Let's move on from that. And moving on to the traveller, Jamie. How's your week been, sir?
Full of travelling, really. Another
You're
notch
doing
on
the
the plane
ABCs
post.
of You're doing the ABCs of Europe. You've gone Amsterdam, Belfast, Croatia. You just got to keep going through.
Yeah, I'm over it now, though. Yeah, it'd be nice to just chill. I keep saying I'm not going anywhere else, but you know, who knows what next week brings, right?
Don't jinx it. Let's start with what we always do, is what we've been playing. I might start this week. Mafia didn't arrive, so
No.
yeah, so it's delayed because of posting. So I ended up watching The Sopranos and Boardwalk Empire and stuff. But I played a little bit of NBA 2K because finals are here and NFL started. So I started playing some Madden. So it's just all sport for me at the moment. But yeah, I'm just killing time for Mafia. But you guys got onto a hotly anticipated game for the two of you, Genshin Impact. Chunt, do you want to start off by telling us what your thoughts are?
Yes, well, I think I played that just to drop a bit of a achievement. Played that, and that got me over the Twitch affiliate.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Thing. That's I think that's the game I played when that was done the deal. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing, is a bit of Genshin Impact. It's all the anime boobs and TNA and the edgelords and the pretty world, and it's pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. Like, I haven't got back to it yet. I was going to wait till next week, but I think I'll just get stuck into it a bit this weekend. What I played of it is very, very, very good. I'm surprised at how good it is for a free-to-play game. My God. It has no right to be as good as it is, and I don't know how they're getting around it or who's fronting the bill, but I played it for a good 3 hours or something like that on stream for the first time, and I didn't want to stop playing. The only reason I stopped playing is because I had to go to work in the morning. So, and I tested it out on my Android as well. Like, I downloaded it on my phone, and it's cross-play, cross-save, and just putting up with some touch controls until my Razer Kishi comes. It's doable, but I don't want to do it for longer than 10 minutes. So
yep.
That's my initial impressions, but I'm sure we'll talk about it at length. We'll give Jamie a chance to weigh in on it. Can
this beat Breath of the Wild for you, Jamie? Can it be the greatest game of this generation?
No. We're not talking that level. It's a nice go-between. It might look like it, but it doesn't feel like it, if that makes sense. There's elements of, like, strong elements of, like, the combat and things like that in it, but it's not like a one-to-one, like people were saying, like, it's going to play like, it's going to feel like, it's going to look like it. Like, it's heavily influenced by, but it's not just a carbon copy. It's got its own thing going on. The gacha mechanics are not overly intrusive. I think I'm about 5 hours in now, so I've not felt any need or pressure into, oh, you can't do this because you need to pay for this, which is really good. Story's strong. Cutscenes are really, really strong. But yeah, until we've played some more of it, I can't really add anything other than what Chunt did. It's got no right to be this fleshed out, this good, and this much for no entry price. Do you know what I mean? You get access to kind of each type of character for free. Yeah, win-win. Good game.
Lisa is bae.
I'm inclined to agree, although I've got 4 other, like, characters that you get from your freebie things. So
nice.
There's some bae ones.
Oh, really? Oh, damn. Keen.
I'll show you them sometime.
All right.
Did you boys manage to play anything else?
Animal Crossing.
How are you still playing?
We're at episode 30 now, Chunt. You know, yep. How many more times can we hear this?
Oh, it's with me. You blame Jamie. It's his fault.
It is kind of my fault.
Jamie? Yeah, take
anything else? I don't even remember. Oh, the Pro Evo 2021 season came out. I got that on PC. It was like £12. I don't know why the hell it was so cheap, but you know, until FIFA on the Xbox, that makes plenty of sense for me to just play that. Yeah, and then just Genshin Impact. I played some more Mario on Switch, but yeah, not anything worth counting or shouting home about. I've been too busy doing like traveling and shit, you know.
Well, I was going to say, at this point, you can say you've played the AR version of Microsoft Simulator, right? Like,
flight simulator,
you're really testing it out.
Constantly on flights.
Those graphics, they're really realistic. We'll move on. Because of all the next-gen conversation that's happened over the last month, I feel like it's just been going on and on. We actually haven't got to talk about our experiences with trying to get our hands on these next-gen machines, or if we will at any near point in the future. John, I'm gonna lead you off with this one. How was your morning? You had your time prepared on the day of for 8 a.m. How did your experience treat you?
Oh boy, it was an eclectic day. I'll tell you that much. I had the morning off, the whole morning off the phones at work. So all I was doing is just monitoring email work and doing call-ins and whatnot. And so I wasn't going to get interrupted by just a random phone call. I was like, sweet, I'm going to jump in there and get it done. Like, straight up, I'm in a prime position. Had the my second screen open with EB Games open, just with the Series X page there, ticking down. I had my auto sign in, like always stayed in option on. So I wasn't going to get booted out or anything. So I was like, yeah, this is happening. Had my pre-order put aside. The pre-order money aside is $200, something ridiculous. 8 o'clock happens. The add to cart button appears. I'm like, yep, sweet, bang, right in there within 30 seconds. I'm in the cart and I'm hitting pay. And then it kicks me out and I'm like, oh, all right, I understand. It's probably an influx. Let's just refresh the page. Hit pay. Oh, no, there's an error. I'm like, oh, here it goes. It's happening. And here I am checking my bank account, making sure I'm not getting charged $200 like 10 times, you know? And so, yeah, within the whole 20 minutes, I was checking social media. I was checking, other channels just to see like what conversations happening and people getting raged out. The Facebook page for EB Games. And everybody's having the same problem. Like, oh shit, this is not good. This isn't happening. Like, I was ready to go, as I'm sure everybody else was. But I was in a prime spot for it. And I was there. I wasn't like late. I was there, you know. And I missed it. I didn't get it in. The first go, and I was so fucking pissed. Like, this is bullshit. I had a prime opportunity, no interruptions. The page was there. I was in my cart, and the problem was it wasn't processing through checkout, because they were just getting hammered. And you have to assume it's like not only the volume of people, like normal people, but then like bots and shit had to have been a factor in there. Even though they've got capture security, like you have to actually, press this if you're a human kind of thing and select the things. So they've got that precaution there as well. It's like there's no way this can fuck up. But it did. And man, it was a shithouse day. I was so pissed off. I'm like, no way. And then I kept checking EB Games social media on Twitter, and they eventually put out something like, pre-order a lot, sold out, come back at 12 at lunchtime for the next round. I was like, oh God, all right. Cool. 12 o'clock is exactly when I come off or when I come back on phones at work. It's like, oh, this isn't good. So about half an hour or 20 minutes before 12 o'clock hits, they're like, yeah, no, we're pushing this back till 3 p.m. So I was like, oh, man, I'm already livid and now you're pushing it back. Not a problem. So it's later in the afternoon, like mid in the afternoon, maybe there'll be a better chance for, people to get in there. I understand that. So 3 p.m. rocks around. I'm in the same position as I was at 8 o'clock, right there. I'm in the cart, like within 30 seconds. Same issue. I'm just like, just going for it. Like, come on. I persisted for about 17 to 20 minutes, and I eventually got through. I had my phone on. in the cart, and I had my computer on, just doing the same thing, like clicking, refreshing, pay. And eventually my phone one went through, and I finally got it. Finally happened. And got the order confirmed message on screen. I waited about 10 minutes and I got the email confirmation of like, thanks for ordering this, rah. It's like, oh wow, okay, that must be locked in. About an hour later, I checked back in my EB account, and like my order is there under my account. So I assume it's all good. So yeah, I'm just going to assume until further notice that I've secured a Series X for myself. You know, so it was such a sigh of relief. Like, I just finished work, and within 20 minutes, I managed to get one. So I was really pissed off most of the day. So it was an exhausting day mentally. That's my story.
Jamie, were you able to prove to the internet that you were indeed not a robot?
Yeah, yes and no. Series. I don't know why I've clicked you. I was trying to sit up and I've got my mouse on my chair.
All right, it's not a bad glitch.
Just get it straight back to you. Yeah, Series X was easy. Did the same thing. You know, got up, had all of my windows ready and open the night before. You know, Amazon, our version of EB, which is Game. Like 3 other local retailers, and was like, I've got to get one somewhere. Clicking and refreshing between the ones, and then yeah, like 15 minutes after go live, appeared on Amazon checkout. One click. I've got one click checkout on Amazon. Just done. Email confirmation 5 minutes later. Sweet. The blue team was a bit of a blue. Yeah, it's a white machine, but they're still the blue team. That was a bit of a different story. So I didn't wind up getting that around launch because I was away when the pre-orders went live. And it was like 2 a.m. in the morning where I was. The retailers here went live. So I was asleep. Like, and as we've discussed at nauseum, also like heavily under massive influence. So there was no way I was doing that. The following morning, some went live, but yeah, just no prayer. I wasn't awake. I wasn't in the land of the living at all. So I missed out. And then for the next sort of week, I followed the IGN UK deals page on Twitter and actually turned notifications on. And every now and then you'd see like, oh, so-and-so retailer have got like limited units back in. And I'd always miss it. And then randomly one afternoon at like 2 p.m, I got a notification. Like, you know, you feel your phone vibrate. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. And it was them. I was like, so I clicked it and I was like, oh, this retailer, all they sell, right, is like large clothes. Like it's the big man retail. That's what they call it. Like it's like, you know, XL up. Basically, that's all they stock clothes for. And they were like, somehow that even the IGN account was like, I don't know if this is real or if this is just like why are they selling this? But the pages were active. They were there, but they weren't putting up kind of individual units. They were putting up bundles. So I got a digital extra controller charge station. I think that was it. So the charge station and extra controller and the digital edition for like, I think it's about £80 over what it would have cost for just the box. So I was like, click, went straight through. I was like, done. I've got both sorted. And then everybody just needed to talk me down from trying to do the same thing to get a 3080 when I definitely don't need one. And that was my experience. What about you?
Yeah, that was an interesting morning. So I obviously got up to do the reaction and everything on that morning. So I was already up. It was 6 a.m. I was watching the conference. And then as the next hour or two started unfolding, you just started... Because I normally, when that stuff comes out anyway, I go to retailers and just look what they put on the website. Because sometimes while you can't pre-order, they put things there to let you know or whatnot. By the time I walked my dog, came back to the computer, getting ready to work, I went on to JB Hi-Fi, which is the electronics place down here in Australia, and there was a pre-order there. Just put down $50 to pre-order. I did that, and it just said, we will notify you when you can pay the rest off and confirm your order. So I'm just going to have to wait for that. And then later on, I messaged one of my friends and I messaged my brother to let him know you might want to do this soon, like it's because it's not going to last long. And when I was talking to my brother on the phone, he mentioned that like all the other stuff, like the headphones and the controller and the charging station, all that had popped up. So I went and just put down a pre-order on the controller and on a charging station as well. And then I was like, oh, I'm all good. And then as the day unfolded, you just saw everyone losing their shit. Things happening. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go back to work. And I got through this like unscathed. Like I didn't even realize this was going to be a big thing. Yeah, I got through it all right. All in all, I don't think there's any way for these companies to do these things any better. And I think come 7 years time, 5 years time, whenever it is, same thing's going to happen. So just be prepared. All right, so we'll probably move on to one final topic, and we probably should talk about Spider-Man's face, because everyone's talking about Spider-Man's face and how it's changed. They have not recast the voice actor or the performance or anything, but in the remastered version of Spider-Man, if you get it as part of the Ultimate Collection for Spider-Man Miles Morales, you will get an updated Spider-Man look, Peter Parker look, and he looks different. He looks basically like Tom Holland, which is funny because when I first played Spider-Man back in 2018, I was like, oh, this guy looks a little bit like Andrew Garfield. So I guess it's just going through the cycle. But I can't remember which one of you had the more violent reaction. I feel like, Chunt, did you have the more violent reaction to this?
Yeah, I'm not a fan, actually, to be honest. Just not at the look of it, but the reasoning why.
The principle.
I just don't get it. I really don't. Like, I saw someone online saying they think it's, or they heard or read somewhere that, the face model for the original game wanted more money or something, or some ridiculous thing, and Sony wouldn't pay, or some shit like that. I don't understand how all that is, or if that's any truth to it. But I just don't see the reason, like, for their explanation of, like, this new face model fits Yuri's voice better, blah blah blah. It's like, well, you must have already thought that the original face model suited because that's the one you selected. Or if you thought it was a problem back then, well, why didn't you change it, or why did you settle on that guy? It's not an actor, but it's someone's face. Why
don't you use Yuri's face?
Or like the voice actor or something, But then I guess you don't really see Nolan North or Troy Baker everywhere. You just hear them everywhere. But I think it might just come back to that corporate synergy thing. Everybody's so associated to the MCU and these people, and people up in arms about this new Avengers game doesn't have any actors in it. It's like, well, no shit, man. These characters existed before some of them were born. These people aren't the crux of these characters. They're not the originators or anything to do with it. Yeah, they popularized it and cemented themselves as these characters, but we're not beholden to them. So I get why they kind of want to make it look like Tom Holland, because he's today's Spider-Man. But I feel bad for the original voice actor, the face model. I feel bad for that guy, because for whatever reason, Sony just decided, or Insomniac, or whoever decided that, didn't really like that. Let's just swap it out for something new. But then the other part of me is like, well, is this some kind of other corporate synergy with the Avengers game? Where are they going to use this guy, this new face? Maybe it was some extra deal that they put in place. Like, all right, well, let's re-release this remastered version of the PS4 Spider-Man game. But if we're going to put Spider-Man in Avengers, we should give a new game model. And maybe it's like this Spider-Man crossing over with the Avengers game. So it's a new character. Like, maybe they just worked it that way that we just haven't found out about yet. That's immediately when my brain went after, what is this shit? And then, hey, maybe they're doing this. Maybe that's why. Maybe this is the Spider-Man DLC for Avengers on PS4, PS5 or PS4, whatever. Look, I just think it's a bit nonsense, really. He looks younger than Miles does. Everybody said that, and it's like, yeah, I agree with that. You see the screenshots of Miles in this new game. Granted, he's a bit older, but even in the original game, this new Spider-Man Peter Parker looks younger than him. I don't know. It is what it is, and what are you going to do about it? But that was my knee-jerk reaction. Done.
Jamie, did this get your spidey senses tingling?
No, and I'd not thought about it like you've just said. That's definitely why they're doing it. The parity with what will be Square's version. Yeah, I think you're on the money there. I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Damn right.
And yeah, I'm not a fan for all the reasons you just stated. Like, looks younger than Miles. Yeah, do you know, hashtag not my Spider-Man, basically. That's what I'm going with. He's I don't like the model. I don't think the model looks good in any way, shape or form. That we could be proven wrong with that, but I just don't think it was unrequired. They've botched this entire remaster. It didn't need to be that. It could have just been uncapped frame rates, running at a native resolution, and everybody would have been fine with that, and just give it to anybody who owns the original version for free. Why do this? Like, it's again, we constantly talk about the unforced errors that they're making, and this is, again, it's another unforced error. Okay, some people are happy about it, but largely people are just annoyed by it, and it's like, well, this is just jarring. But yeah, it doesn't mean much in the long term and in the grand scheme of things, but at the moment you've just put another seed into people's heads that you don't know what you're doing, and this is an unforced move. Like, why have you done this? And yeah, it just smacks of the whole Sony logic, to be honest, and I'm just bored of it. I just try not to pay attention to anything they're doing as a corporation, because there's only so many fucks you can give, right? Yeah. I'm quickly running out of them.
That they to be honest, like the moment I fell into it, like, I think not the actual face, but the actual visual quality, I do think looks better, like, just when you look at the side by side. But in terms of the actual face, I don't care. Like, it's been 20 years and I've seen now 5 or 6 Spider-Mans on a TV screen for me. Like, if you include the movies, if you include the Miles Morales TV movie that came out the other year, there's a Peter Parker in that. Like, I'm just used to seeing different Peter Parkers, so I never really fall in love with the look either way. But it's just it's lining up with their like, their messaging is all over the place. Like, if this is really what Insomniac wanted to do, it is that argument. Well, it's like, well, they're creating the thing if that's what they really want to do, but it just doesn't smell like that.
I don't think they do. I don't think they did want to. It's some kind of stupid mandate that made them do it, even for parity with Square or whatever it might be. But it's like, and you know what you're saying about, oh, you've seen so many iterations and versions of the character. Like, that's great, we all have, but just think about it. They've gone, oh, this is for the future of the franchise, this is how we're building to the future. They probably said the exact same thing about Andrew Garfield, let's be honest. Yeah. Look how short-lived that was. Like, it's just unforced idiocy.
I think there's a bit of a difference between, like, there's a trilogy of movies with aging actors, and you've told that story, give it a couple of years, you reintroduce the character, reinvent it in a way, new faces, new actors, new set of movies, and then they age out of it, so does everybody else. But this is a video game where you don't age. Like, these characters aren't going to age or grow out of their own characters, so there's no reason for it. Like, I understand, like, you can't have a 40-year-old Peter Parker passing off as a 25-year-old, or sorry, the 40-year-old actor, unless he looks like really good for his age, but passing off for a 25-year something. You just can't really do that. It's different where you've got a 3D model that looks like the character, that's never going to age. The graphics are going to look better, and it looks more lifelike or photorealistic. Cool, but for all those other reasons, Hollywood replacing actors is one thing, but in a digital world, those same rules don't apply. Like, you don't get your Christopher Reeves, your Brandon Rouse, you know, your Henry Cavills, your Dean Canes, and everybody coming through different Superman roles, and all the other Spider-Men, and all the people that have played different James Bonds and Batman. You know, that stuff doesn't apply here. So it's just, like James said, it's like, what the fuck? That's all it is. It's like unnecessary.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping I get used to it after 10 minutes of gameplay or something, and then
You got no choice now. You have to.
Yeah, that's the point. All right, this was a short one. We had to squeeze one in this week, but we all managed to be here, which is what we wanted. So thank you, Jamie. It's good that you could fit us in to your traveling schedule.
Yeah, man. and then the rest of it. But yeah, it has been. This is definitely the shortest one we've ever done. Yeah. I think, what's the clock saying? 26 minutes.
Yep.
And you know what? When we started this podcast, there was still light outside here. I've never done a recording here when there's still light outside.
Oh, it's all right.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for.
But yeah,
what do you got for dinner,
make it up next week and do a bumper.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna spoil myself tonight because I got my Ring Fit as well to start in the morning. So I'm gonna have a bit of a blowout tonight, probably some pizza, and hook into some Ring Fit in the morning.
That's your logic. It lets you get the pizza takeout because it's like I'm gonna do this in the morning.
Yeah. You can justify anything.
I'm literally 5 minutes away from having KFC, so I'm gonna say thank you very much for watching, everybody, and have a good weekend, or if you've had a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Indeed, and keep washing your hands.